What's up, guys, and welcome back to Global Speedrun Association with our any percent tournament round 2 match between Chaospringle and Kanikama, the first Japanese runner that joins us on this tournament. I'm super excited. I've been watching him for a long time. We've been talking to each other on Twitter. He's been throwing in routing ideas. He's super active, actually. So definitely excited for this one. Chaospringle doesn't really need any introduction. He's the Chaos P4, the one and only. Probably the most consistent runner in this community and top 4 in any percent. And yeah, today I have Tishel joining me again for the double accent commentary. It's going to be 2 very exciting races, I think, today.
Yeah, hey, what's up, guys? Super excited for this one. Kanikama actually recently got his first 103, 103.55. So that's really hype. So yeah, looking forward for a good race.
Yeah, he's really good. And we do also have Chaospringle joining us today. Chaos, after your recent adventures in the All Unique Moons category, how do you feel about this any percent race?
Well, I've been practicing it a lot. I mean, I PB'd yesterday,
I know, yeah.
so I don't know. I think it'll be good. I mean, I haven't really done any runs today. I've just focused on like practice, but hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully we don't fall in the deep woods.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yep.
Is there anything you're like in particular scared about? Like sometimes people have like this one trick that hasn't been working out recently.
I mean, I don't know. Not really. Like, I'm just worried. Like, I just don't want to fall in the deep woods. That's it.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing that you have.
Understandable.
I definitely get that.
Uh,
But anyways, thanks for your pre-race thoughts. Best of luck on this one. I think we are good to go to have the countdown. So you can just leave the call and relax, and then the countdown is gonna happen. And
alright.
Tishel and I are gonna take this one. Good luck.
See ya.
Good luck.
Exciting times.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So what moons do we have today? Actually, I didn't even read them. For the the verification. Wooded, snow, and seaside. All right. Not that bad.
We have Flower Road Skip, we have the Ground Pound Moon in Snow, and we have the Chest Moon in Sea. So it's a pretty easy ones.
Yep.
If you don't know about these screen captures, just type an exclamation mark SMO proof. I'm just going to do it once for you guys so you can read what they're all about. But yeah, just a live verification method. And I think we're good to go. Countdown happened, and this one is on its way.
Awesome. So I actually never seen Kanikama play. Again, another race where I'm kind of blind on one of the runners. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this.
So I actually did see him play, and I think his gameplay is interesting. Like he is in some places, he's going for like very clean move, and it's like the usual Japanese play style. You see them like with crazy movement, but he also sometimes has like I think Chaos advantage. Let's say it this way. Chaos advantage in this tournament is his consistency.
For
And even though
sure.
Kanikama is like super clean movement, you'll see him like bonk before the Tower Moon and Sand or something. That's something you barely see for Chaos.
Right.
Like he doesn't really make these mistakes.
Yeah, and that usually comes down to just experience with the game, just literally like the amount of hours that Chaos and other top runners put into the game. Well, they basically the movement is like second nature for them at this point.
Yeah.
They can they are super consistent because they practice so much, but they also have the ability to adapt when something goes wrong and just adapt real quick and prevent a disaster from happening. So that's I think is the main difference between like top runners and the rest.
So Kani and Chaos both going for the first-person strat in the bridge. Pretty much exact same strat so far. Kani did take that one bonk at the small lantern, but he actually almost caught up a little time. It feels like maybe had like a cleaner start to this frog room, because that doesn't look like he's 2 seconds behind, and a bonk usually loses 2.
Let's see left side. One of the hardest jumps of the game at the beginning. Kanikama misses it, but a pretty quick backup. Yep. Not that bad. Could be worse, honestly.
Chaos going for the spin throw strat. Kanikama did go for it as well. Actually kind of worked at the end. And usually if you fail that, you can easily take damage, but Kanikama still took off all the 3 heads, so definitely still solidly off topper.
Yeah, from being a failed attempt, it was still like pretty fast, for sure. So Kanikama is in 1.0, and I am assuming he does FMS.
Yep. So he's one of the rare Japanese runners that actually plays on 1.0. Most of the Japanese runners actually play on 1.2, like the most recent version. We do have the Nintendo online services coming up very soon, so we might see some switches there. But for now, Kanikama is definitely one of the runners that's playing on 1.0. Pretty sure he does FMS.
Yeah, most people are waiting for the services just to see Goryuya playing 1.0. Finally, Goryuya, the Japanese god of this game. In terms of skill, he's pretty much on par with top runners, but he's running in 1.2. Chaos first try FMS, really nice, and Kanikama having some issues.
That actually works.
Nice backup.
Wow, Cappy was like 600 meters high, but it still worked. That actually is pretty smart backup, yeah.
Yeah, actually, with the way I do FMS, Cappy sometimes lands like that, and yeah, you can just go for it. Usually, it just works.
Yeah. Once again, a showcase of this weird rock, which with very weird properties.
That Dinoscape was interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was necessarily
Camera.
faster, but it looked like super consistent the way he did it.
Yeah, he probably puts his camera there.
Yeah. We're having some technical issues. Hopefully they get resolved. Alright, there we go. We're back.
Just a tiny drop right there. Pretty average stuff. Chaos defeating Mud and Ruler without any problems. Kanikama's strat here looks exactly the same. Fine on this fight. Chaos opting for the spin point here to collect this move. If optimal, it's a bit faster. Let's see if Kani does the same.
In Kanikama, even though he missed a left side and it was like a second try FMS, he's really not that far behind.
No, not at all. Especially heading into sand right now, which is obviously a bigger one, depending on how well your clips are going, depending on how well your drams are going. Also, Chaospringle, notorious. The GSA skip master. I mean, no, there actually used to be his meme where he was falling there sometimes, but recently haven't seen him fail that one.
Yeah. That's devastating in a race. Like in a run, you would just reset and forget about it. But in a race, it's 1 minute time loss easy. So Chaos going for moon clip on the chest. Seems like it worked.
Yeah, seems like you. Oh no! Let's see if you can actually get that up throw, because that's something we've never seen so far in a race.
Nice.
Okay. Kanikama not clipping, but that's actually something I've said that can happen. Cappy will not clip through the wall, and then he's like out of bounds in this water section. I guess he backed it up fairly decently though, without a death.
Yeah, it was still pretty fast backup. Could have been faster, but not that bad. But that gave Kanikama the chance to get closer. So we're in a pretty close race.
Yeah, Chaos probably lost like 10 seconds there. Even Kanikama not even opting to go for the chest clip, but obviously still making up some time with that one.
Yeah, I don't think Kanikama did wall jump less. You can, climb the cave without wall jumping, which is a tiny bit faster. But it's also like a bit tighter.
Definitely. Heading into sand, and since Kanikama definitely showed that he's on 1.0 right now, I'm assuming he's gonna go for Sphinx clip. Chaos definitely will go for it. I'm not sure if he currently does double clip, which is twice the amount of clips. So I mean, you can't really say it's twice as hard, because when you have Sphinx clip down, you can technically do both, but it still makes the entire route a lot harder.
It's interesting how when top runners all of them were doing double clip, and when the new wooded route came out, a lot of them switched back to single clip just because they just wanted to get to wooded. They don't want to have a reset point in sand. They just wanted to get out of sand and get to wooded real fast just to do the new route. But it's interesting how a lot of them are still doing single clip. Like something in sand improved in the movement from Sphinx to the Oasis. And runners are actually being able to get low 5-minute sands with single clip. Like we're talking about 501s, 502s with single clip, which a few months ago that was not possible.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting the development of the sand times lately.
I think mainly it's like pretty decent movement for after swings. People used to jump a lot of the quicksand, but there's actually some straights where you can avoid the main a big part of the quicksand, and then also obviously people still get better, and it feels like double clip is almost unnecessary. The game used to be at the spot where it seemed like double clip is necessary to get like good times, but with wooded coming in, didn't seem that much anymore. I was actually having trouble to get into the rumble room, so Kanikama almost caught up entirely here, coming up on Dram.
Nice. I think Chaos got it. And kanikama too.
Looks good.
That looks good, yeah. Should work. Nice. So Chaos going for notes route and Kanikama doing the boxes moon. I don't know if he's gonna do double drum. We'll see.
Interesting. I don't know. I didn't know that Chaos actually does that now. Actually, Kanikama dropping his cap throw there, so he needs to just jump back and activate the bullet bill. I mean, capture the bullet bill. But yeah, we will see a little routing difference at the end. Depending on how well Chaos's nodes work, he might save some time over Kani here.
So yeah, Chaos is starting to implement nodes. He was actually practicing it yesterday. I don't know how comfortable he is at it. I'm assuming he practiced it a lot because if he's going for it in the race, he feels confident he can do it. And single clip by Chaos first try, nice.
Both of them getting this luggage spin, which can be a little weird. Very cleanly, and yeah, Chaos definitely first try swing slip, which is a big one. Let's see how Kanikama can make this work. Going for wall slide and first try, nice.
Nice. Very nice.
Chaos showing the move and I was talking about, where basically long jump or single jump off of that ledge to avoid most of the slow quicksand.
Yep. You can actually get like a triple in that hole in that door, and then a dive, and you're basically like already at the stairs.
Exactly. So Kanikama opting for the slower single clip movement there, where he jumps off of that small ledge, so he needs to do like one additional jump in the quicksand, which is probably like half a second slower, maybe not as much, but probably is definitely time loss.
It's gonna be interesting because you can actually like visually see the time loss once you get to Oasis. Like you're gonna see the difference in where the bird is. For Chaos, the bird is gonna be further back because he was a bit faster. And for Kanikama, the bird is gonna be closer to him.
Yep. Which actually, that's like a misunderstanding that some people have. It's not necessarily bad if the bird is back, because you can still go towards him like after this moon. It's not necessarily optimal to basically hit the bird as you do the ground pound moon. It's just a sign basically how good your movement was from the swings to the Oasis. But yeah, Chaos needs to do notes now.
Yeah, so the bird was actually really close for Chaos, so he definitely made a mistake that I didn't see. Because the bird was super close for him. With first try single clip, the bird is usually like further back, like we're gonna see in Kanikama now. Good notes by Chaos, by the way.
Good enough notes to save time with this one, I'd say. He's gonna globe right now. Kanikama probably 5 seconds or something behind after the sand exit, and when they did dram, they were pretty tight, so Chaos maybe saving a second or two on notes. But I mean, Kanikama didn't get double dram, which is actually when you don't get it, then notes really becomes a lot better.
Exactly.
But yeah.
It looks like it's like a 29 for Chaos and like a 35 for Kanikama. So 6 seconds apart and really good sand exit times for a race for both of them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Kanikama on this pace could probably still PB easily. Like his PB is I think a high 103. That's a sand exit you would probably be happy with, like a 1030 for sure.
For sure. So yeah, Lake. We don't have a moon in Lake. No, the first one is booted. Like I'm curious about what Kanikama is gonna do. Lake actually has surprisingly a lot of strats. In actually a lot of moves. Like even the first one is already like you can do a lot of things. Most top runners nowadays do the spin pound Chaos just did, but they get the moon instead of missing.
Kanikama not doing the spin, but also missing though.
Wow.
Yeah, this moon is a bit weird. Like getting the perfect ground per there after the rolls can be a bit hard.
And the next moon, the zipper moon, actually, there's a lot of options that people do. It's pretty interesting how this is one of the moons I feel like where it's like the most difference between runners. Like some runners just dive and then roll, some runners just dive twice, some runners just spin pound and roll cancel. I think spin pound roll cancel is the fastest, which is what Chaos just did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how maybe these little things it takes time for for everyone to implement.
Chaos did lose all of his speed though coming up to the zipper moon. Usually you want to roll 3 times and then walk into the alcove. Very interesting pillar moon there from Kanikama. He didn't even touch it at all. Pretty good spot there for him to shake. Really still basically 5 seconds apart, I'd say, between the two.
Okay, Chaos having some issues with the wall jump less.
Kanikama playing that a bit more smooth.
Yeah, this is close, man. This is the type of race where, you know, any tiny mistake could make the difference, you know. Like missing a hitting cloud or, you know, missing a hitting Rango even like could make the difference.
Well, we say it every time when this boss cutscene plays. This race looks very promising, very hype, but Wooded is the next kingdom, and we've heard Chaos say he hopes he doesn't fall into the deep woods. I don't hope anyone falls into the deep woods, but I'm very sure that both of them will be going for the nut clip route, like definitely.
Yeah, and yeah, Wooded is so interesting in races just because of the nut clip. It's just a trick where you only have one chance, so it's really punishing for a race. You know, in runs, depending on the level you're at, you can just decide, you know, if I don't get nut clip, I'm just gonna reset. Only like the top runners do that though. But yeah, in races, it's a game changer for sure.
So 3 seconds apart, leaving Lake, which is actually interesting because if Kanikama would have gotten first for FMS, he would probably be ahead right now. So definitely super close race at this point.
True. Let's remember that Kanikama got second try FMS, and his backup was actually like super fast. So
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, Kanikama basically gained 3 seconds in Lake over Chaos.
So definitely some bless RNGs that both of them will make the wooded route work. I'm fairly sure that Chaos is usually one of the most consistent people when it comes not only to the entire game, but especially this route. When this route was developed, Chaos, like, he relentlessly did ILs of Wooded. He used to be the Wooded only runner as kind of a meme. So he's usually pretty confident and consistent on that one, usually.
Yeah, Chaos, as you know, like everyone, definitely struggled a lot with Nutclip actually at the beginning, like everyone else. It's a really weird trick. You know, it comes down to timing, comes down to the rhythm of the inputs, and it's pretty interesting how once you like get it, something clicks in your head, and you finally understand the rhythm, and you start gaining so much consistency like right away. It's a super interesting trick, and it was super fun to learn, at least for me.
By the way, before they go there, I want to give a huge shout out to Kanikama. I just checked Japanese times. It's actually 7 a.m. So definitely getting up early to get this race and one of the very few Japanese runners to join this tourney. Respect.
Respect indeed. So here we go. Looking good.
Looks like we both got it.
Oh, wow. I'm very surprised, actually. That definitely looked like he clipped, but I guess not. So this is going to give Chaos a big advantage. Kanikama's going to go for a rock clip, which is the fastest backup you can do. This clip is similar to Sphinx clip. The inputs are basically the same, but it's kind of different in the timing of the inputs.
His movement there was really quick.
Yeah. Second try rock clip and really fast out of a movement from rock clip. So really impressive stuff by Kanikama. He definitely has the confidence and he definitely put the time into Wooded. You can tell.
Yeah, going for the triple jump there too.
Nice.
Very interesting. Wow. Definitely flying through that stage. Obviously, that's a pretty big time loss on his part there because Nutclip does save like 10 seconds by default just of getting through the wall that quick. So Kanikama needed to watch that lever cutscene. But that's pretty much the best. I mean, he could have gotten the rock clip first try, I guess, but that's definitely, he can be happy with this one for failing Nutclip.
Yeah, no, for sure. That was a really quick recovery. And he doesn't seem phased. Like, if his movement afterwards was still super clean, so looks like, it's still fine. He can recover.
So Chaos grabbing Story Moon. Kanikama taking a bonk. That this wall kind of really baits you when you are in this 2D like view. The game kind of makes you think you can easily jump there, but there's actually a wall. Kanikama getting poison jump just fine.
Ooh, going for the fancy spin pound. I like it. He missed it though, but that's actually like a pretty big time save if you can do it right.
Very little time lost though for his backup. They just wall jumped back up, so he didn't fall down all the way. So that's still pretty good. Chaos getting his first capture, and let's see if Kanikama. We do gotta blame ourselves here. Kanikama, obviously being a Japanese player, we just try to explain him this mechanic of the capture proof before this race. So let's hope it actually got through to him.
Yeah.
Because this moon is the first one, the first capture verification.
It looked like he understood, and hopefully he remembers. We'll see. pretty clean.
Nice. Capture taken in Japanese. Never seen that message, but it seems like it got through. That very cool to see.
Nice. Right, Chaos going for probably, I would assume, pipe weights out. Yep.
Yep.
So skipping the boss is just going for this knot over here and then doing pipe weights. The fastest route. And hardest. I might add.
I actually don't know if Kanikama does it. I've seen him post clips on Twitter. He's usually one of the people I talk to about reroutes and stuff and strat finding. He and himself and Goyuya usually go into this stuff very quickly. So I'm not sure if he's going to do it. It's definitely times. It actually seems like he does it here. Yep. Nice.
I love this guy already.
Yep.
This guy is playing with so much confidence. And he's really good. Like again, it's actually the first time I see him play. Like obviously by his time you already know he's good. Wow.
That spin point actually was disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, that was that nut was like super quick. Oh, he's doing the Goryuya strat for the pipe
doing the
entry.
Goryuya strat already.
Like
That's what I'm saying. Like Goryuya just recently posted the clip where you can just roll into the water and then hold neutral. But yeah, both of them, if Kanikama doesn't take damage, surely saving time with the Spirit skip. But Chaos obviously heading out of water with a small lead because of his nut clip.
Yeah, and Chaos had a really good wooded. I don't think I saw any. Ooh, okay, that's actually a big time loss for Kanikama. Easily 10 seconds in pipe
Probably.
weights right there.
Didn't get the first cycle and gets the damage refill. Nothing too much to worry about yet. Still, no one fell into deep woods. That's usually what we want to look out for, but yeah.
So Chaospringle pulling ahead in wooded. You know, as we always say, wooded is a big influx point in the race. Anything can happen, so it's not very surprising. You know,
Yep.
missing that flip is actually really easy. You only have one try, but you know, only like 30 seconds, so it's not the end. So it's definitely Kanikama still definitely can do this.
Oh, for sure. Cloud, another kingdom where I'd usually give it to Chaos because of his consistency. Rarely seen him miss cycles there. It is still possible, and Cloud cycles, especially one single cap throw missed and you lose like 10 seconds.
Yep.
Like if you just go off of movement, sometimes okay, you'll miss like a dive, or you don't get poison jump and lose like 2 seconds or 4. But here, if you miss one thing, you lose 10 by default.
Yeah, it's actually one of the, at least for me, one of the worst mistakes you can make in a run, because it's honestly like simple stuff at this level. It's not a mistake you should be making, and you know, when you finally get out of wooded, the least thing you want to see is 10 seconds of time loss in Cloud. It feels so bad, actually. So yeah, a lot of times we take it for granted, but it's actually, you know, it's not necessarily hard strat. It just takes timing, and you know, you can miss it by a few frames and 10 seconds gone.
Yeah, definitely. This one seems more lenient. I think the Bowser fight in the actual Moon Kingdom can be way more weird, but yep, still mistakes can happen in Cloud. So Chaos heading into Lost, starting up with the spin pot, almost grabbing that tree there actually, but just barely making it through. Kanikama seems like he got his Cloud face there.
Yeah, seems like he got a bit of lag though.
Yep, Bowser is in fact dead. Kill confirmed.
Nice. Pretty clean loss for KO so far. Not going for the spin pounder. After the Butterfly Moon, I'm pretty sure doing a spin pound is the fastest. And it's actually like not that hard. I'm surprised he's not doing that yet.
The very first strat there is actually spin pound, like edge roll cancel to fly in a straighter line towards the moon. But yeah, that's something that Chaos probably is gonna add soon. Chaos usually pretty early with him adding strats. Against the meme that says Chaos is not learning strats fast enough. But
yeah, it's interesting because you know, a few months ago it wasn't like that. Chaos was actually like a pretty safe player, and that's where his consistency came from. But I think, you know, once he got to the top spots of the leaderboards, and you know, he has these times now. He kind of like is forced to do everything.
Yeah,
you know?
I was about to say he can't just sleep on like strats at this level.
He has to go for every half a second time save in the game. He just has to do it.
Yeah, getting cage triple just fine. I mean, I'm not obviously into the Japanese scene, but I think Lost seems to be like a Japanese meme. Every time I check, people are tweeting that they lose their runs to it. So let's hope Kanikama's end of Lost here goes well.
I feel their pain.
I mean, I do too.
Lost is definitely one of the deadliest kingdoms in the run. I think I said this the other day, but it's probably like one of the biggest reset points without taking into account like the early game. Lost Kingdom is probably up there for sure. So Kanikama missed the bomb the first time, the build bomb. That's actually a pretty big time loss because you have to take damage as a backup, which
Yeah, and he
triggers the
needs to
window
wait for
animation.
the thing to respawn and Cappy to come back.
Yeah.
Gets the cage triple though, which is arguably the hardest threat. So very nice.
Okay. Playing it safe.
Playing it safe.
Sometimes going for that moon is pretty scary, and if you bonk, you lose a lot of time. So I definitely respect the captor there to just take his time.
And yeah, taking the death at the end, that doesn't matter much. It's like a 2-second time loss. Only thing that can be very bad about the death is like coins, but both of them are very fine. Pretty much exact same coin count heading into Dark Metro. So nothing to worry about that. Like, if you have like 60 in Dark Metro, that's where it gets scary. But 90, there's like no way. You'll get those coins along the way.
Alright, so Lost on Chaos pulled ahead a little bit more after that loss. His loss was pretty clean.
Yeah, sure.
And so far his Night Metro also pretty clean.
But just to take a look at it, like obviously Chaos is playing very well here and this looks very good, but his PB is probably that a long time ago already. Like that's how crazy good 101 runs are. If you make those tiny mistakes in sand, if you make those tiny mistakes in lake where you lose your speed, it might already just be enough to just not continue the run.
Yeah, I can already tell you after that mistake in Cascade where he dropped to the water out of bounds.
He would have reset.
He had a 29 sand exit, which for his standards is probably really bad.
Yeah.
For most players it would be amazing, for context.
Yeah, for sure. But a 101 is just ridiculous at this point. We're getting to the point where maybe it's sometimes in the future the one flat is achievable, but one flat basically means play with all the strats we currently know and get them all. Like that's how one. Oh no.
So Kanikama went for double roll Goomba jump, which is the fastest strat, also the hardest. And he actually had it. He just somehow screwed the angle on the last slide for the Goomba jump. That's a shame.
Decent backup, definitely one of the faster ones you can do there. You don't often see actually people do a lot of backups because when you watch top runners, usually they just press, I guess, plus at this point and reset.
Yeah.
But always good to have these backups up your sleeve, especially when we go into this like race background.
Yeah, it would have been perfect if he also grabbed the flag going to the city hall to heal up, because now he's gonna take the healing animation when he grabbed the moon. That would have been the perfect backup.
Chaos, very solid 2-cycle on his part there.
Okay, we're having some stream issues on Kanikama's side. Hopefully they'll get results soon.
Yep, definitely trying to get that one back up. But I mean, broadcasting all around the world, commentary from Europe, streams from Japan and the US. So definitely, obviously, that technical difficulties can happen. Let's see how well this is resolving. We're definitely not going to be missing any capture soon because the next one is in snow, and this is really what all matters. Like that's obviously our way to look for live verification. But Kanikama fighting the Wiggler here. And
Nice.
Chaos heading into Day Metro. Got a pretty clean 2-cycle.
Yeah, Night Metro for Chaos was really good, actually. I didn't see a single mistake. Which is, for Chaos is pretty much another day in the office. He is I don't know if he's the most consistent runner. I'm pretty sure Curves or Suicide are also up there in terms of consistency, but he's definitely like up there in terms of consistency.
Yeah, I wouldn't even compare. Like, obviously they are consistent, but you can see off games from Curves and Suicide. I've seen both of them.
Yeah.
With like some pretty off races, but I've never really seen a very, very bad race from Chaos. I mean, there used to be this one race where like Fade Snow Jam twice or something, but that's like the worst I've seen him perform, and he still got like a low 103.
Yeah, he still won that race. That's crazy.
I know.
A pretty good wiggler by Kanikama.
Yep, that's what you want to be getting. Chaos heading out the girder here to talk to the musicians. Slowing down a bit there, so optimal.
So yeah, that movement is actually kind of tricky. So the flick on the pole, there's two ways you can do it. Basically, when you capture the pole, if you just shake the controller, you're gonna go flying in the direction where you capture the pole, right? And since you're trying to capture the pole as fast as possible, it's really hard to capture it in the optimal angle. So you can just shake the controller and just go. So a lot of runners, what they do is they just aim with the stick first before shaking, which ensures a good angle. But even doing that, Chaos failed. He took his time to aim and he was still like touch the wall and lost speed.
Kanikama heading up to scooter clip, barely missing it there.
That looked good. That actually
but
looked good, but didn't work.
you want to be getting the infamous drive where we literally just drive by the cage and then instantly clip in. Not really that easy, and I mean, we've seen recently, especially in this tourney, we've seen people miss it. But I mean, you can work out your consistency, but it's still not a guaranteed hit every single time. It's still a hard trick to get like perfectly consistent.
Yeah, I think for races, runners should consider just bonking on the cage on purpose.
Will Chaos make that?
Oh,
Oh,
that was
he
so
only got a
close.
double jump there.
Yeah.
So he had to delay very hard to make that work.
But that's also the kind of thing I was mentioning earlier. Like, top runners recognize that immediately. Like, he immediately knew what he had to do to make that jump. And that's, a lot of times that's the difference between a reset or a PB. Just really small stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. Especially in this case, having to vector quite hard to actually make that work. Kanikama also showing why this movement can be a little tricky. Kind of need to keep your speed and avoid that ceiling, that railing.
So Chaos doing bullseye, waiting for the shadow. Shame on you, Chaos.
No respect for the bullseye. Not a big problem though. Obviously doesn't lose much time. You can obviously go into the ground pounded state a bit earlier, which just makes you fall quicker.
Right. But yeah, Kanikama is, I think both of them pretty sloppy. They mentor, I mean, nothing major, of course, but both of them having some minor issues.
Chaos Knight Metro definitely super good.
Yeah.
Could have probably golded if he went to like a super good day Metro. This one definitely wasn't enough. Having that double jump there, losing a lot of speed, not getting the optimal one flick strat, but he can probably still be happy with this one. Kanikama still having to do this entire upper section of Metro basically. But obviously we've talked about Snowdrum, which is pretty much the next big thing coming up. I don't know how much Chaos practiced it. I haven't seen him miss it much recently, but it used to be the one thing that kind of got him scared in races, but we'll get there soon.
So 30-35 fade out exit by Chaos. That's really good exit time for Metro.
Yep.
He's probably behind his PB though, I would assume.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Probably like 10 seconds at least.
That's how crazy 101s are.
They really are.
Pretty clean movement by Kanikama. The climb wasn't the fastest, but it worked out.
Not opting to wait there for a little bit, which is probably in the end faster because you can do the spin pond strat towards that moon. But probably just confident to go with the double dive. And he's going for the fast bullseye, barely missing it though.
Yeah, so that's why Chaos waits for the shadows, just to ensure he hits the moon. But you can do it earlier and get the moon. Kanikama missed by a tiny bit.
Kanikama heading into the crowded alley. Oh, I think it's like pushing through the crowd is what the actual moon name is. Now that I play Darker Side, I actually do know some moon names.
Yeah, any percent players so used to just playing Japanese and just do the run. We don't know much about the game, which is kind of funny. Many any percent runners would not be able to finish a bingo even.
That's actually true. But yeah, both of the runners definitely good on coins. So Chaos pretty much the outer section of Snow ahead right now. It's gonna be heading up to the chest moon. And yeah, Snowdem definitely gonna be a bigger one in this race. If Chaos was to miss it 1 or 2 times, he definitely would take a bigger hit.
I need to tell Chaos to stop backflipping into that moon, because that's a time loss for free. Oh,
Getting in the second capture, which is nice.
Yeah, so my point is, basically when you open the chest, you have to wait for the moon to be active to grab it. And the thing is, like, if you backflip and you end up touching the top part of the moon, you are so far up in the air that then you have to wait to dive down, or you're gonna bonk on the ceiling. And you can just literally just jump into the moon, just a single jump. You can even like jump and throw Cappy to delay a bit and just grab the moon really low,
Yep.
which is, I mean, it's faster. We're talking about like 0.1, but again, at the level Chaos plays, you know, a 0.1 that is free is a 0.1 you're gonna take.
Yeah. Kanikama not having the most optimal movement there. You can actually roll quite much there. It doesn't even look that way, but if you space out your rolls just fine, you can basically almost roll through the water. You can just roll barely before you hit the water and then use that speed to glide through. But not the biggest of issues. Chaos looking at a very solid lead right now. The main things that are coming up soon, though, obviously, Snowdram into Luncheon.
Yeah, so Chaos is
Seaside
actually
between.
confirming he's on 101 pace if he plays good for the rest of the run, which is really impressive for a race.
Yeah. Probably no chances to PB because his PB is like a, I mean, it's not a low 101, but it's a lowish, like a 101 4x.
Yeah.
Can he come up bonking there? You can actually collect that moon while bonking. That's what he tried to do there. So I don't even know what's the best backup is. This seemed fine.
The
as a
best backup is ping pounding, wall jump, dive.
I guess,
mostly.
yeah. Backflip works just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, but when you bonk, you can buffer the spin pound, so that's
Yeah,
why
okay.
I guess it's faster. So good Goomba Room by Chaos. He's going to Snowdram.
Still needs to buy the shop moon. Let's see if Kanikama remembers to take this capture on this one.
He forgot.
He forgot. Not a big deal. Obviously, there's still a backup capture you can potentially get, so we can make sure to notify him. There's still a backup capture you can get in Seaside, and the other capture is also in Seaside, so it's obviously two very lenient captures, one of them being the chest moon and the shotgun moon, and Kanikama spin pounding that one actually, which is definitely a bit faster.
So here we go, Snowdram by Chaos.
Gets
Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen Chaos miss that in a while. Kanikama not having the best of snows, like nothing major, but you know, it's really easy to lose time in snow, which is bonks or slow movement in general. And he's having a bit of issues in not every moon, but you know, a few bonks here and there.
Yep. Hopefully he can get Snowdram first try, which is probably his big hope to still remain in that race, because there's still stuff like Mech and Luncheon coming up where people can take huge time losses. But Chaos pretty much showing what makes him like probably the most scary opponent in this tournament.
Yeah, I actually have Chaos to win the tournament, even though he has to go against Suicide most likely. Chaos can definitely, like with his consistency and his level of play, he can definitely win the whole thing. But he has to win her first. It's not over.
Yeah, for sure. Doing that strat, which is an up-close wall bounce at the start of Seaside. Oh, actually Valu diving there, which is what we call when you do this backflip. We've talked about this the previous race. Sometimes when you backflip, Maya just doesn't want to hit Cappy.
So, if I'm not mistaken, uh that's his second big mistake since Cascade.
Pretty much, yep.
Which is pretty nuts. He obviously had like some minor movement stuff throughout the run, but like major time loss, and I'm talking major, I'm just saying 10 seconds, which, you know, for most people 10 seconds is nothing. That's his second mistake in the run, 36 minutes in. That's scary
Yep.
for you. So the Seaside Moon, which one is it? I forgot. The chest. It's a chest moon for the screenshot. So Kanikama's snow dramming right now. Nice. So he actually got the ball at the edge. This is fun. It's funny. It's weird. I don't know exactly what happens, but you can actually like, get the ball when you land on the edge. So I think we're losing Limkey for a bit. Hopefully we can fix that soon. I'll do my best to keep it up. Chaos coming to the chest moon. He needs to take a screenshot here. Let's see if he remembers. He didn't remember. Ooh. So there's actually
Nobody's. Oh, am I
Oh,
back?
you're back. You're back. Kinda.
Oh, I think I'm actually back this time.
Right, so Chaos forgot about the chest moon but got the backup screenshot, so nice. He saved it.
Yep. Hello, am I back? Can you hear me
You're
again,
back.
Tisha?
You
Okay, I'm
are
back.
back. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, some technical difficulties on my end this time. Happens to everyone. Yeah, Chaos reacting quick enough because he already actually, I don't know if he actually got a strike because when he did his first race, we might have not had the option of the backup moon yet, but reacting well enough and ending up with 3 out of 4 captures basically. So he's good to go.
Yeah. So yeah, kanikama, I think at this point, I actually haven't checked, but I am guessing we're talking about 1 minute or probably more, actually. Maybe closer to 2 minutes of difference in the run, which is kind of crazy because kanikama didn't really make any major mistakes, if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's literally all just, movement, which
Yeah,
is
there's
90% of this game. It's just movement.
There's also some stuff like bonking, and for example, that one fallen night metro is probably like the big major
Right.
mistake he made. I mean, it's not.
True.
You could call it a major mistake, I guess. But yeah, Chaos with another great season, not really making any mistakes at the moment. Kanikama going for flower rocks, or did Chaos actually do it?
Chaos did the flower
Oh,
reset.
okay.
Yeah. Chaos actually made a big mistake in Seaside at the beginning where he missed the dive, going
Yeah,
for the
that one
first.
that one I still caught. But after that, I was gone for a second. Kanikama not actually able to refresh his flower day. It almost looked like he went for the crazy refresh, but
Yeah.
probably just missed the ground pound input.
Yeah. That's usually what happens. So luncheon for Chaos. Luncheon, one of the hardest splits in the run. It's
Kani taking the screenshot there. So
nice.
definitely aware of it again. Let's see if you can also get the backup. I mean, I don't even know if he's good for the backup. It's definitely like for us just explaining him this before the run. I think
Yeah.
2 out of 3 is definitely okay. Getting the backup too, so definitely just playing by the rules. Super nice to see.
Very nice. So Kanikama Seaside not it's not bad, but it's like one thing I'm seeing from him now. I don't know if it's nerves or concentration or not, but he's making a lot of small movement mistakes. Maybe it's just the type of runner has a really clean early game, and he still needs to work it out. Work out the later parts of the game, which is it's definitely understandable, and it's probably a good approach for this game. Having a really solid early game. It's really good because you can basically do a lot of runs and get further away. Uh, for example, I personally have a really bad early game, so I struggle a lot to get runs going, which can be very frustrating. Uh, but yeah, I don't know if it's the nerves or concentration or just maybe not a good day right now, but he's making a lot of small movement mistakes.
Yeah, for sure. And they add up. This is kind of what this game is all about. Like we don't even have that much gameplay. I think there's someone that like cuts away all of the cutscenes from the world records, and usually 30 minutes are what's left in terms of gameplay. And these 30 minutes though are pretty much all movement, nothing else. You just move. You just basically do tricks, moves, and input. So if you miss small things of that, it's gonna add to your time very quick. And you can't really you can't correct these mistakes that much because there's so many cutscenes where you obviously can't make back up the time. So movement needs to be on point.
Yeah, like we always say, movement definitely the most important thing out of this game. A lot of time runners, especially new runners, tend to focus too much on strats, the cool tricks. But if you just polish your movement, you're gonna get you're gonna get uh, you're gonna get better times like quick. You know, it's definitely the key.
Kanikama with a great salt triple. Getting that rollover, we don't see many people go for that. It's actually very tight and very fast. As Chaos does the meme bong strat on this pot, which is literally just a little bit more optimal. There's a better strat you can do, but nobody does it where you just dive over. Actually quite interested why nobody does that, because I did that for the BTT theoretical sheet and like saved 0.4 seconds with it. It was like a bad approach.
So really nice manipulous lava capture by Chaos. So what he did is from the pillar, he continuously looked with the camera at the isle with the moon, and that makes the lava bubble spawn early. But he was going so fast that he was actually able to capture the lava bubble without delaying the spawn. So that's the fastest strat, and I think it's something that he implemented not long ago. So really clean stuff.
Yeah, for sure. You can obviously manipulate your camera there to make that easier on yourself to get a decent
Yep.
cycle, but optimal case is to just not do that at all and just grab that lava as fast as possible.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a second of time save here, like maybe not even. That's how crazily optimized this game is at this point. Where sometimes we can talk for 10 minutes even more about a strat, and that strat saves half a second. Uh, it's actually pretty crazy when you think about it.
I don't know what kind of spin pound Chaos was about to go there, was about to try there before picking up the turnip moon, but that little mini Kobe seems to be working out just fine. So
Nice.
definitely a turnip clip you'd like to see.
Really clean luncheon, even with that turnip mistake, it's still like really good.
Ooh, can you come with that roll cancel after the overlooking moon? That's probably faster actually.
So Kanikama got mad because I called him out on mistakes, and now he's going super fast.
Now he's
So
popping off.
shut me up. He's popping off.
No, he's been still playing very well. Like once again, his mechanics that he's shown are very good,
Yeah.
and it's probably mostly about even more confidence and more consistency for late game parts. And it's just the game in general. But he's definitely,
Yeah.
if he still keeps grinding, his potential is still massive.
No,
he
like
recently
if tomorrow, like literally tomorrow, you tell me Kanikama got a 102, I believe it. Like he definitely has the movement to do it. He's really really good, which is what I like to see.
barely missing the portable there, which is obviously ground pounding 3 times, probably out of anger. Happens to the best of them. If you go for that strat, you need to be very quick.
Yeah, so that's a shame. So we actually saw Kanikama doing the other strat where you move the camera away to delay the spawn of the enemy and just ensure you can capture it in time. But he made some movement mistakes and actually couldn't do it. And that's actually like a pretty big time loss. Losing the capture is like probably like 5 seconds, maybe even more. And Chaos closing out luncheon, really good luncheon by Chaos.
Yeah. Looked almost like gold pace potential, but barely with some mistakes. Probably not exactly up there, especially the weird spin pound before the turnip moon and this turnip, like the turnip clip could have been better too, but still, definitely
Yeah,
still good to
it was
go.
probably like around at 620, I would say. Maybe 21.
Yep.
I guess.
Ooh. Actually, almost no one goes for that turnip clip strat where you just spin pound into the turnip.
Ooh.
Oh no.
All right.
Unintentionally killing this poor pan, bro. You just get aggressive at these guys if that happens. But hey, that's actually super quick backup the way you just instantly put him there and recaptured.
Yeah, actually, like the angle where you approach the turnip is really important if you want to get a really really fast clip. Like you want to try to put the camera and angle in a way where you can just like instantly turn around and instantly release and capture.
Yep.
So that part he did correct. It was the throw he did was kind of weird. It looked like he didn't do what he wanted to do. To me, I'm sure that's not the strat he goes for because that wasn't even close the first throw. So I'm curious about what strat he actually uses. I kind of want to check his BB.
Another thing when we think about races right now, I don't know how actively Kanikama is observing this and if he knows how much Chaos is ahead. Because obviously at some point in time you can just say, okay, I mean, I know there's this strat, I've been practicing it a little bit, so I might as well just go for it, trying to save the time with that risky throw. Because if you get that throw from very far away, that's obviously pretty fast, because you can just go towards the bro and start to capture it.
Right. But yeah, I mean, Kanikama with some minor mistakes. I mean, it's basically the same stuff we saw him in his mid games. Just small movement flaps that add up. They add up real quick in this game.
Yeah,
But
they
it's
do.
definitely not a bad launch on whatsoever. Mostly the tournament clip that set him back a bit.
Yeah, but Chaos once again with a very ridiculous good run so far. Actually, I'm not currently fully aware what the race world record would be, but I'm pretty sure Chaos is probably the one holding it, and I'm not sure if he is going to be able to beat this. There's still obviously a huge portion of the game coming after this rune find, mainly speaking um, Bowser's mech, the Bowser moon fight, and obviously escape section. But Chaos looking at a very good run so far.
Yeah, K
When it
is probably
comes to
looking at a really low 102 right now if he plays perfect.
Yep. Well, Kanikama needs to go through this auto-scrolling section. Let's see if he has any special strats prepared for this. I mean, obviously there's always this early movement where you can do some fancy stuff. And obviously also the fight itself, depending on how you take out the pins. For
Yeah,
Dragon's Head.
the movement at the beginning of Ruin is interesting because it's nothing like crazy. I mean, you don't really have to do anything crazy to go fast. But you know, you can make. I mean, you can obviously make mistakes there, and it's so frustrating. Like losing time in Ruin, like you get to the dragon fight and you know you already lost a second or two.
Yeah,
It feels bad, man. It feels bad.
it really does. But there's some things you can do like in the fight to get back some of this time, especially those pin strats here, and also the way you
Yeah.
ground pound the dragon when he becomes hittable again. So let's see what Kanikama does here.
Yeah,
Chaos
like
seems like
most
early.
auto scrollers in the game, like it's mostly about timing. Like when the stuff you gotta do activates, it comes down to doing it as early as possible. That's basically all you can do in an auto scroller. So you want to capture the keys as fast as possible, as early as possible, and you want to ground pound the boss as early as possible, and that's all you can do.
I guess you can also look at how you actually grab the moon at the end, and also obviously how you
Right.
hit the globe, because actually in small kingdom like this with those little timings to save time, that actually matters. Chaos showing a
Yeah.
very good strat for this Thwomp ogres. I think Nintendo calls them stair face ogres, so I'm just gonna call them ogres.
So I was gonna mention about also like small kingdoms like Ruin, Cloud, even Cap, even like Lost. Catching and mashing also come. When you're already like at your peak for your goals. Getting a good kingdom with good mashing can be the difference between golden or not.
I mean, let's be real, I've definitely lost golds to missing the globe in this game.
Yeah, no, for
Like,
sure, for sure.
it comes down to everything. Like, I've lost golds in Wooded and Bowser's or something to not being able to capture the globe immediately.
Yeah, it happened to me. Usually for me, it's like I'm so excited because I know I golded that I forget I need to capture the globe, and then I react like quickly and I screw it up, which is funny.
Chaospringle popping off
Wow,
on these shards here. Getting dive back, getting the RCJ over the wall.
nice. That was super clean.
Diving towards here. Also RCJing into this moon.
That was hot.
That was hot for sure. Kanikama leaving ruined now, so still has to go through the early sections of Bowser's. And Chaos is coming up at his refight. I do know that Chaos goes for the Shaden Dram, which is what we call this next capture warp strat. I've seen him do some very fast approaches. Let's see how he plays it here. Interesting. With a double jump. I think this still works. Yeah.
Nice. That strat is actually like, I know Equan is gonna disagree with me, but that strat is actually pretty hard. I mean, I find it like pretty finicky. I don't know. I honestly I haven't played with it much. But it's actually like, I don't know. I feel like it's harder than it looks.
So Topper first for Chaos, his signature move. It doesn't matter which boss you fight first, but he always fights Topper first. And that Shaden Dram strat you can actually even take to higher levels where you do like a triple jump into a single throw.
Right.
And that's sad, but that's the reality we're dealing with now. Like, because these strats are the strats we need to learn now to push the game to an hour flat. And when I say we, I'm talking about the top level runners, because I'm not dealing with this. I'm just gonna play Darker Side and have fun. But yeah, good luck for Chaos on getting triple jump Bowser Dram.
No, yeah, like we say many times, like the stuff runners are going for is ridiculous sometimes, and this is not something that started, right now. It's been like this for a while now, and it just speaks of how optimized the game is. Even I don't know, does it even have 1 year yet? I don't think so.
Yeah. Coming up soon though, which is obviously a cool anniversary, but that's still, I mean, not even a year old. That game is so young.
And this is the result of simply the amount of people that play the game, the
Yeah.
amount of people that like the game, and they just went hard on the game and figuring it out really fast.
Can he come up with the dive back on his own? Very nice to
Nice.
see. But yeah, this community is actually insane. If you look at the Discord, the amount of people that really look into stuff in depth. I mean, it's usually the same people. You see the same people pop off at the same, like, for different tricks. But we have
Yeah.
some very dedicated people in there.
Okay, so Kanikama not doing the camera manip for this transition that actually saves half a second. So he's probably not aware about it. We should try to hook him up.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously always hard. Kanikama is probably the easiest Japanese runner to communicate with. He runs his stream on Twitch. He is in the Discord, so you can obviously update him with stuff. His English is actually, I mean, when he talks on stream, it sounds very solid, and he pretty much understands everything you type to him.
All right.
But if you want to get to the Japanese scene, sometimes can be hard. Oh, also going
Yeah.
for the drive strip. I think that works.
I think so too. Nice.
Nice. Some sloppiness in shots, but other than that, this Bowser's looked also pretty solid for Kanikama. And since Chaos is on 101 pace here, we should probably not forget. I mean, Kanikama obviously being quite a bit behind him, but his PB is like a high 103. So let's not completely forget the fact that it might be barely possible for him maybe to catch a time like this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Chaos having a really solid Bowser's. This is his first mistake, the mech climb. Actually, I'm pretty
And
sure.
it's very
I
minimal.
wonder if it was gold base because it looked really solid.
Do you think that's enough to kill the gold already? What does that do? It's like 2 max?
I think so. I don't know if he has Harriet third in his gold yet. I would assume
Yeah.
he does.
I would assume he does too. And I think his Bowser's gold is usually pretty nice, pretty good. But we'll see how this ends up.
So here we go. Going for Harriet third.
Setting up for Harriet third. Positioning and getting that hit in real quick. Let's see if he gets for the target acquired. Looks like the target acquired straight away. Just snipe Spear as you go. Boom!
Oh, that's so good. I love
Target
that.
acquired.
Indeed. Got him. That strat is so cool. Actually.
We definitely get used to see Harriet third, but it's still kind of new and it's still sick every time we see it.
Yeah.
Like obviously there was a time where people popped off when someone spin pounded Harriet at the end, but now this is like the hot new strat. We'll get used to it, and probably something even more crazy is gonna pop up at some point.
Yeah, no. I mean, at the beginning of this game, people would get hyped about, people ground pounding the Dune Sand Moon first try, you know.
Yeah, I know.
So
That's
we
some
definitely
people.
come a long way. But I mean, it's natural. The game advances so quickly, and stuff that a few months ago was really crazy. Nowadays, we take it for granted.
Ooh. Kanikama going for the
Nice.
most optimal strat to grab that boxes mode. Actually, not that commonly seen. Even top runners, like we've seen Rhea last run to opt for a slightly safer strat there, but that's like the hardest strat and the most risky strat you can go for. Actually, super interested how he was able to turn his camera that quick there. He only needed to do the first jump blindly.
Yeah, that's how I do it. So
Yeah, you can
I
like.
really wonder. When people try to press the reset camera button, because like I was talking to you the other day, like you can definitely like turn the camera in a way where it's like it's safe, and that's
Exactly,
what he
yeah.
did. But yeah, like super impressed by Kanikama, to be honest, in this run. Even if I don't think he's gonna PB, but he's definitely PBing soon. Like all the strats he goes for,
Oh
and
yeah, for sure.
he's super confident about the game. New mech climb
Oh,
right here.
that's
So
actually
yeah,
legendary.
he's so updated in his strats, and he's definitely gonna improve, and he's gonna PB soon. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Super
just
impressive.
if you just compare strats, Kanikama is literally going for everything Chaos went for this run. Like,
Yeah.
there's not a single thing he did not go. I mean, I don't know if he's doing Harriet third. That would be potentially the only thing. But he goes for the Shade and Ram. He goes for the new
Harriet
mech
third.
climb. He actually
He
goes
goes
for Harriet
for
third.
Harriet. Oh my god, I love this guy. Let's see if he gets it. This strat is really hard. My god.
Getting it too. My god,
This
yeah,
is this.
that's what you're saying.
So
Yeah, this
is
guy
this
is
the
gonna.
second double Harriet third?
I think that's the second double Harriet third, and now that round
Nice.
2 is actually emerging here, we're gonna see it. We are gonna see it a lot more, but definitely super hot Bowser's actually from Kanikama. Only some mistakes here in charts. Nice zoom there on Harriet.
Now I want to learn Harriet third and do it in the race. I don't
Yeah.
want to feel out. I want to do it. I want to be cool like these guys.
I mean, I can understand the risk that is going with that is happening with that strat, but yeah. So Kanikama probably still can still get a 104 though. On the other hand, which is still a very solid time, pretty close to his PB, and Chaos still confidently heading into this Bowser's fight.
So I didn't check the timer when Chaos entered Moon, but he said he might get a 101 in this race, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But you know, at worst it's gonna be a low 102 unless he fails to escape or something like that.
Pretty sure 101 not seen before in a race. I'm very sure that's still a barrier that's just recently been broken. Not even like 2 months ago, maybe maximum, not even, maybe like a month ago when we saw the first 101, maybe slightly more than a month. But it's an insane time if he actually was together. There's still a lot of things he needs to actually get through. For example, pillar blocks.
But yeah, but it definitely confirms, you know, what we said earlier, where Chaos is, you know, he's a name for the tournament. Like, he could definitely, you know, be the one that wins the tournament, and he's showing us why right here. Consistency is actually ridiculous for this guy.
Yeah. So but also if we compare these guys' PBs, I mean, even if Chaos was to get like this 101 in this one, Kanikama is still looking at like a lowish 104, which is also only like 20 seconds away from his PB. And once again, the strats that he does is actually ridiculous. He goes for like 101 strats. So once he gets consistency on them, he's gonna go very far.
No, for sure. He's gonna BB soon, and he's gonna BB by a lot. I really think so. And that's what we want to see. You know, we want the competition. You know, the more runners up there, the better in my eyes.
For sure. Yeah, it almost feels like any percent has slowed down a bit, but it definitely actually hasn't. It's just that most of the people that were around like the 104 level now have been looking into stress, like Harriet third, Bowser Dram, the new Wooded Rod and stuff, and they're all catching up now.
Now, like, the top level of any percent has never been as active as it is nowadays. Like, not even close. Like, you have so many people in the top 10 that are so close to each other. They are like constantly, you know, switching places, bopping each other. It's actually like really fun to see the progression of everyone.
Chaos not opting for the wall jump right there, which almost doesn't save time at all. He's definitely not going to be throwing this 101. That still is potentially there if I look at the timer right now. He's not going to be throwing that away. Probably actually still possible to get it if he gets like a quick pillar room here.
This is 105, 101 pace. He doesn't even need early pillar to get it. That's so impressive. That's so impressive. Let's see.
Yeah, he doesn't even need it.
No, he doesn't need early pillar. He got early pillar, I think. Not sure.
Seems like he sniped quite a bit. Do you think he got it? I actually couldn't quite catch it.
I couldn't hear. I usually use the sound cue. He didn't get it.
Snipe might have hit,
snipe. He went for the snipe, which is the fastest backup.
Yeah, the snipe actually hit.
Wow.
That's still a 101.
It is a 101 for sure. It's probably like a 55 or something.
I'm very confident that this is actually the race world record right now that you guys are witnessing. Chaospringle
Insane.
Once again showing what he's made of 56. With a 101.56. Disgusting time here.
What a god.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Kanikama never had a chance against a team like that. Like, let's be honest. Kanikama still put a really great show.
Oh, for
Really
sure. I'm
impressive
super
stuff.
impressed by him.
Yeah, and Kanikama is about to get a really good time too. I don't know if it's a high 103 or low 104 or mid 104. I'm not sure, but it's still like super impressive for a race.
Realistically, probably looking at like a 104.30, which is only like 35 seconds off of his PB, which is still pretty amazing. You barely see that on players like this. But yeah, as you said, for Kanikama to beat Chaos in this race, he would have needed to PB by 2 minutes. That's just, I mean, that's just unrealistic. Chaospringle, his consistency through the roof. Let's not count this guy out. Highly favorite to win this tournament entirely, maybe. I mean, he can have off races, and there's a lot of other very skilled runners, Suicide, for Equan, all of them. I mean, Equan can also have 8-minute bullets, but yeah, Chaos showing what he's made of.
Yeah, and you know what? He deserves it. Like, he put so much time into the game. He loves the game. He practices every day so much. Like, I know that firsthand, and he deserves everything he got in this game. He deserves it. He puts the work for sure.
Yeah. And he really does love any percent. His passion for any percent is actually ridiculous. It's not like he only plays the game a bunch because he wants to be just the best, but he really loves any percent. Like if he tried to make him play anything else, he's but I could also do any percent, and yeah. But yeah, once again, Kanikama, very great showing from me, and huge respect to him one more time. It's like 8 a.m. in Japan right now.
Yeah,
He's probably staying up to this.
Nice pillar. That looked good. He shot like 7 fireballs. I think the first 5 were fine. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the pillar fell. I'm pretty sure the pillar fell at the end.
He's looking for a mid 104. Really nice time for a race. Really good stuff. And like we said earlier, he's gonna PB soon because he has the movement, he has the strats, and he has the confidence. Like, you can tell he plays the game with so much confidence.
Yeah, I'm very happy about this showing. He played amazingly. Showed also what he's made of, and he pretty much, like, once again, if you go back through this run, I'm pretty sure Kanikama did not skip on any single strats that Chaos went for this run. It was just that he still needs to basically improve that, but every strat that Chaos did, he did too. So amazing.
Nice. GG's to both runners. That was amazing. So I don't know if Chaos wants to join us to give us his thoughts about the run.
Hello.
Yo.
What's up?
Oh my goodness, what a run.
What was that, dude?
I don't even know, dude. That was insane.
It was.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my gosh. I was playing like garbage at the beginning though, but I picked it up and wooded.
Yeah, I was right about to say, like, if you didn't fall after the chest clip, this would have probably like tied your PB already or something.
Yeah, I lost about 7 seconds.
Yeah.
8 seconds. So yeah.
Yeah, crazy. Like some things, especially, for example, this night metro was almost like unseen of. This was like crazy stuff. And then also, I mean, there was this one mistake in Seaside, I guess, where you fell at the start, but there's not really much. You can literally count the mistakes, like the major mistakes on your hand, and everything else was like super small sloppiness.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Whew. That was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah,
So this is the record for the tournament. 101.56.
I mean, I'm pretty sure this is race world record, right? Did you ever get a better race time? I'm pretty sure you had it before, so I'm pretty sure this is the official.
Necro had a 102.08, I think. And yeah, my race PB was like a 102.12.
Wow, okay, so you completely demolished it actually.
Yeah. And this is like 7 seconds off your PB, right?
Yeah, it is.
That's amazing. That's actually super incredible.
Yeah, that's actually nuts.
It was a good run.
Yeah, super interesting to see. I'm also insanely impressed by Kanikama. Not sure how much he was able to look, but he pretty much goes for literally every strat you do. He's just obviously not as consistent yet, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna be attacking the top 10 soon. Definitely super good player. So very exciting race.
Yeah, it was great. All right, so closing out this race, we're gonna actually have another race right after this one, which also really hype race. Ferb versus Equan. Ferb versus Equan, top 5 and top 6 going against each other. There's some grudge there, apparently, some rivalry going on there.
Yep. It's gonna be a pretty intense one. And guys, I know I've always been saying, stay tuned. Round 2 is gonna be very hot, and the first 2 matches already delivered. Third one better be just as good, and the potential is super high. So definitely see you guys after a probably short intermission. Thank you so much for racing, Chaos.
Yeah.
And we'll
Yep.
be back very soon with
GG's.
another race.
All right.
GG's.